Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bare Bones Wargaming, a show with no bells, no whistles, no frills, just a man, a camera, and his game. On today's unexpected episode, I am going to do something that I kind of said I would never do. Really, I thought about it, and I'm like, nah, I would never do this. But I'm going to, because I'm just so excited. At 2:10 p.m. today, this Cataclysm landed on my doorstep. As soon as I saw the email message on my phone, two images flashed into my head. The first one was, if you know this show, from the BBC comedy show Chef. If you've never seen it and you like sarcasm, do yourself a favor, check it out. On the episode The Big Cheese, when Gareth, the chef, is looking for unpasteurized Stilton, and someone calls and basically says that they have it, he looks at the kitchen and goes, Stilton! That's kind of what I thought when I saw this. And the other thing I thought, probably the opposite end of the spectrum, Quagmire from Family Guy going, giggity giggity, alright. So, here it is, Cataclysm. So I'm just going to open it and just off the cuff say what I think. If I can get it open, that is. Ah, here we go. As always, look for the breach, right? So, this is, as I mentioned before, probably my most anticipated war game of the last 5 years. So here we go. What do we got? Alright. We got a nice sturdy box. Listen to that. That's solid, man. Not to have a flashback to the 70s. Solid. Alright. Those are good old enough. So we got a nice rule book here at the top. The rules of play, which I've already read online. And I watched that outstanding video. I can't remember the gentleman's name off the top of my head. It was on Board Game Geek. But this is great. Full color. Looks as awesome as it did online, to be honest. Then we have the Playbook. Now, the Playbook's one thing I haven't messed with yet. So I'm going to be kind of looking forward to looking at that here. So let's take a look. Actually, let me slide the box back a little bit. We'll just do it this way. Smart, right? So let's see. Okay, comprehensive example of play. I'll probably be reading through that here before too long, since I've already done all the other things. Wow, look at that. Woo, this is comprehensive. Woo. Then here's the scenarios. And by the way, I just want to give a shout out to one of my subscribers, the Bobby Factor, pointing out that there's some errata already to pick up. I mean, you know, hey, this is war games. War games and errata go together like peanut butter and jelly. Let's be honest. So I'm going to be looking that up to make sure I've got it all set here for this day's decision. I think this is what the one I'll probably go with, to be honest. Because one of the things I really am looking forward to this game with is the political aspect of things. Yeah, the military system seems cool too. Oh, look here. There's a specific Eagle in the Sun scenario. All my Pacific Theater stuff. Well, now that I know that, I may have to play this. This would be interesting. All right. Hitler's War. War Without Mercy. Yeah. Pour la Patrie. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry, I did not take French in high school. I took Spanish. Okay, so this is looking completely awesome. This almost looks like it's part scenario booklet, part like player's guide. That's great. Alright, moving on here. Let's see. We got the cards here for the countries. Okay, let me kind of straighten things up here a little bit. So we got the U.S. This is great. Look at this. Nice full color cards. Terrific. And of course, part of the reason this is so high on my list, well, one of the reasons, of course, is the sandbox element. The other reason, of course, is that the chit pool makes it so solo friendly. To me, any game that has chit pool mechanism, bam, races right to the top of my solo friendly list. It's one of my favorite things. That's what I should do a video of sometime. My favorite things from a solitaire player's perspective. Because I mostly play solitaire. My wife plays some light games with me, like History of the World and Twilight Struggle and stuff like that. But I doubt she would play something like this. Maybe, who knows. And we got special rules for each country to team up. Very cool. All right. I am liking what I saw. Yeah. And let's see. Okay, so the board. Oh, the board is actually The boards are just map sheets. I thought they might be a little thicker, that cardstock. I'm just saying that because I apparently had a misconception. I know there's the whole map sheet versus mounted map board camps of, you know, things and war and arguments. I don't much care one way or the other. But I just thought it was going to be a little thicker cardstock. That's all. No big deal. What do we got here now? Let's see. We got the counter sheets, and again, you know, this is grand strategy without a doubt, man. Armies, you know, air fleets, all that stuff. This is all looking great so far. Okay, then we got the record display. Very cool, keeping track of everything. What's everybody up to? Crisis table. Love this idea because I love random events. Life is full of the unexpected. Friction, as Clausewitz would say. Oh, look at the cubes. I just uncovered them. So, and then here's the, whoops, I'm holding it sideways, I apologize. So here's the player aid cards. Very cool, everything outlined. Nice detail. Very awesome. I guess one big advantage to all you folks that got it before I did is, you know, you get to go ahead and work out the rules kinks, and I get to go on BGG and just look up the rules threads. Sorry, I didn't mean for that to sound as contemptuous as it probably came out. But there's all the cubes. So that's very cool. Interesting, I'm assuming the light green ones are the US. I thought it would be a little darker green. Still, I mean, it's cool. It's not a big deal. And then the dice, but dice is one of the fewest things I need. And then, of course, we got here the bottom area as well. Alright. Looking totally awesome. Now I have a decision to make. A decision I did not think I was going to have to make. Should I play the Eagle Against the Sun because I've been so fixated on Pacific Theater World War II, and I could share that with you guys? Or should I play Days of Decision? Or should I play both and share both? Yeah. You know what? Actually, I'm thinking that might be a good idea. Yeah. I'm also very intrigued by this game because some of the new stuff I've learned. You know, I'm doing such an in-depth reading lately. I've been reading Pacific Theater or World War II books ever since I finished Barbarossa Unleashed by Craig Luther, which, by the way, if you like the Eastern Front of World War II, do yourself a favor. It's not a cheap book. It's like $60, but it is a massive work with great analysis, great use of primary sources, from the perspective of the German Wehrmacht soldiers. It's a great mammoth piece of work. It is the best book I've ever read on the Eastern Front in my life. Absolutely amazing. So, if you're interested in that, read that. But since then, I mean, I've been reading all kinds of Pacific Theater books, just devouring one after the other. You know, I just get the bit between my teeth and I just take off at times. So, and same thing with the games. Most of the games I've been playing lately have been Pacific Theater for the same reason, you know. I just go. I take off. Sorry, I know I make a lot of pop culture references and stuff, but I mean, you know, not to sound like the Joker in The Dark Knight, but I just do things, and I do, you know. So, however, unlike the Joker, who's like, you know, I'm like a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught one. I will know what to do with this now I've caught this. So, I'm really looking forward to this. I like Triumph and Tragedy. It's on my shelf over here. If you don't believe me, I can prove it. There it is. Right there. See? I do like that one too. That's a lot of fun, and maybe sometime I'll do a solo video of that because that game is a little harder to play solo, but I've come up with some interesting ideas to make it, you know, fun. I mean, one of the hardest things to do, of course, is to kind of have that balance when you play multiplayer solo, but again, nobody says that everybody has to make the best moves all the time. You know, warfare is not chess. It's not a game of complete information where you see everything on the board all the time. So, you know, if I'm doing die rolls or random things, drawing cards in a certain order, you know, for certain powers and stuff, and that power plays some boneheaded moves, I mean, I don't feel bad. Sometimes you look at history and you wonder, man, dude, what were those countries thinking? Anyway, speaking of which, one last thought here. One of the things I put up on Board Game Geek was a thread about Pacific Theater of World War II movies, and one person, I forget who, I really should look this stuff up to make sure I give proper credit. But one individual responded and turned me on to this movie from Japan called The Admiral, which is basically a biopic on Yamamoto. And it's been really good. I've really enjoyed it. So if you're into Pacific Theater or World War II as much as I am, either overall or, just right now, I would highly recommend it. I'm on the eve of the Pearl Harbor attack, and it's interesting because in the biopic, and again, I don't know how much of this is accurate history, I'd have to do some reading, but Nagomo is the one who mentions to Yamamoto, he says, about attacking the Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor, and then somebody else says, why don't we just attack in the South and forget about the American fleet? And Yamamoto points out and says, so can we really afford to have the American fleet mobile and able to strike the home islands while we're busy conquering Southeast Asia? And the kind of silence falls over the room, as everybody weighs that, and it sinks in that, hey, we could be leaving ourselves vulnerable if we don't try to basically, land a huge blow to the head on the Americans right off the bat. So anyway, I thought that was interesting because it's a different perspective. So that's what Cataclysm looks like out of the box, literally out of the box. So again, I do have a choice to make now, because I really was keen on doing the Days of Decision because of the politics, but gosh, now that I know that there is this, what is it, Eagle against the Sun scenario? Yeah, Eagle and the Sun scenario. Gosh, I might have to play this just to see, just to be, just to see, because again, one of the books that's on my reading list coming up is the Nomonhan book by, I can't remember if the guy's name is Goldman or Goldstein, but it is interesting, the strategic importance of that battle, as you kind of continue to, history passes and you step further and further away from the whole event. It's like looking at something as in different parts of your life. As one person once said to me, and I totally agree with this now, if you watch the movie Vertigo, Alfred Hitchcock movie with Jimmy Stewart and Kim Novak, if you watch it as a man in your 20s and as your 30s and as your 40s, you get different things out of the movie. It means different things at different times, and that's fascinating, that kind of layering. And I think history is a lot like that too. The further away you get from the event, it's kind of like the more you see, the different perspectives you get as time passes along. So anyway, I'll go ahead and finish here with that thought. So that's what it looks like out of the box, and I cannot wait to start messing with it tonight, and I'm sure I will. So I will report back maybe at some point before I'm ready to do the playthroughs, just to give some initial impressions of the game, some initial thoughts on what I'm seeing, especially from a solo player's perspective, because that's basically how I play my games. So until next time, this has been Tim Korchnoi from Bare Bones Wargaming, saying I am so stoked that this is here, and I cannot wait to get it on the table and share it with you guys. So until I can do that, I'll see you next time. Hang in there, and thanks for watching. See you later on with Cataclysm.